This is What a week.
What a week. Politricks.
Eta, welcome to another episode of Wow What a Week, #Politricks with Fresh and Botsang. This week on Politricks with Botsang, the Apex Court drops 2 hammers in 5 days. Friday the 8th, Ramaphosa's Phala Phala protection runs out. Monday night, he's at the Union Building saying, I will not resign. Tuesday, same court tightens Schreiber's asylum system. Thursday, Magudumana arrives there too. 3 apex moments in 1 week. At Madlanga, the cocaine sat at SAP 13 register and walked. Clearly, the system works, but those that don't want to work don't either. Mapisa-Nqakula sits with Ndlozi and says, the quiet part out loud, I think we did. I hate to say this, but we did. And while Trump lands in Beijing with Elon Musk on Air Force One, Solimalatsi is back home filing the paperwork that clears Starlink's runway. The big question is it true that he who defends himself accuses himself? Botsang is in the building. Welcome to Politricks.
Yes, good morning, Fresh, and the viewers and the followers.
Oh, grand.
It's my birthday, I have to be grand.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, brother man. Thanks a lot.
May you see another 54 years of health, wealth, and justice.
I don't know if I want 54 more years, but wealth, health, and justice, I appreciate
and peace. Receive. And peace, you deserve peace.
Yeah, no, I do, Fresh. It has been hectic. I never thought at this age I'll still be fighting like I was fighting in my teenage and early adulthood. Yeah. I thought life after 40, you relax. Yeah. You become a father, you wait to be a grandfather. None of those things happened.
Most people that can afford to relax are those willing to play by the rules of the system, you see. Your sin was not willing to play by the rules of the system. Yeah,
that was my sin. But anyway, before I even forget, once more, congratulations to you and to Tato Jr. on his graduation.
Oh yes, my son Tato Motlotlehi Mohochi Sikwane graduated last week, this past Monday.
Yes, yeah.
He BCom in marketing. Man, it's been a tough last 3 years, but he stayed the course.
No, I congratulated him. I called him during the week, and he was so happy to receive my call. I'm very proud of him.
Sure.
You know, he's a real leader.
No, I told him that, losing your mom in the middle of your degree, but staying the course and, pulling yourself out of a dark hole whenever you feel like I don't want to carry on and seeing to finish, it's commendable. Not many grown men and women manage that. And you did it at the age of 23. So well done to him. I agree with you. Thank you.
The followers and the viewers must not be harsh on me that I'm on my phone.
Yes.
We have something to respond to, so I'm looking for my notes so that we can respond. And I need my phone to do that.
So we got an email from the South African Human Rights Commission.
Yes.
Clearly you've ruffled some feathers. Stop getting us into trouble, please.
I don't think we're in trouble, but it ruffled feathers. But I think what was in the decision, we'll get into the details.
Okay.
You see, when we send what you call is these clips that our executive producer, Kelly does, there are people in social media who will take them and put comments, and the other times they will put headlines. And the headline, it's not talking to what we are saying.
Oh, yes.
And I saw even somebody commenting to say the caption on this video does not correlate with what the
doesn't capture the essence of
the
video, yes.
And I don't think the Human Rights Commission is unfair on us.
Okay.
I think they just wanted us to clarify it, but you can lead us on that one so that the viewers can understand.
Yeah, the email says, Dear Mr. Muilwa, the South African Human Rights Commission has noted with concern on episode 306 of our Politricks premiering on the 25th of April 2026. In the episode, you are in conversation with DJ Fresh, speaking about different issues, including recent judgment by the ConCourt on the powers of the Commission. However, as much as we appreciate discussion on this important subject and protects freedom of expression in line with our constitutional mandate, of concern to us is a number of inaccurate statements on the subject matter. In the 55th minute, you stated that coincidentally during the time of the ConCourt decision on the powers of the Commission, its board was dissolved. This is not correct. The Commission has commissioners or equivalent of the board. In this instance, there are no commissioners that were dissolved. You also state that in the SAHRC board and commissioners, there are foreigners. This is also not correct. Then you conclude by saying that it is no surprise that the Commission protects the interest of foreign nationals equal to South Africans. It is no surprise that the Commission is criticized by Operation Dudula, the EFF, and others because it is run by foreigners. The Commission currently has 7 commissioners and requires an additional 1 to have a full complement. Kindly refer to the advert below, which stipulates the requirements. As discussed, the Commission would like to be given an opportunity for a right to reply to address these inaccuracies. There's a clip doing the rounds on social media on the above statements, and if not corrected, people will believe these inaccuracies. Regards, Wisani Baloyi. So we will allow you to respond to this, but we'll also allow them onto the show.
Yes.
To come and clarify anything that needs to be clarified and to give them a right of response.
No, that is the right way, Fresh. And I did have a communication on telephone as well with Mr. Baloyi, and I explained what was actually the intention.
Sure.
And he was a very reasonable person. And I said, look, I'll have to talk to the team because they want to come. Actually, they said they will send a person at the level of a commissioner to come to the show to respond to that, as well as to discuss many other things.
We'd love that.
So we don't mind, creating an opportunity for them. But 2 or 3 things to the Human Rights Commission in the clarification. 1, you have already acknowledgement receipt of their letter, and to give them the right of reply. They can come to the platform and at the time convenient to both us and them. And I think myself and Keleta will communicate with them. But I have to accept and correct the wording. Regarding the way to dissolve the board. Look, whether they are a committee of commissioners or I refer to them as a board, that is neither here nor there. For me, I see them as a board. We can call them commissioners committee. But correctly so, it is not dissolved. The word I should have used correctly was disempowered, not dissolved.
Okay.
Because that's what the Constitutional Court, in my view, has done. By taking, remember on the show, you actually said they don't have teeth to bite anymore. So it is actually disempowering them, not dissolving them. And for that, I apologize for the mix-up of the words.
Yes.
And say, no, in our view and opinion, they're disempowered if their decisions and recommendations are not as binding as the Public Protector's Office, which is another important Chapter 9 institution of the state, then for me they are disempowered because the ruling of the ConCourt took those powers away from them. And this is basically was based on that, shutdown of water by a farmer in Mpumalanga to residents of that farm who have been living there for over 30 years. And the ConCourt ruled that the decisions of the commissioners of the Human Rights Commission, they are not implementable, they are not enforceable, and they are not binding. It's a recommendation that must go to other sectors of government for implementation. So in my opinion, dissolved is not the right word. The right word is they are disempowered.
Okay.
The second element I want to address, and we'll question them when they come, to say the commissioners, or in the commissioners or commission, there are foreign nationals. I don't withdraw that statement. I will ask them on air when they are here. When I say foreign nationals, maybe the correct word to use is, what do you call them? For nationals of foreign origin. They may be South Africans now, naturalized or residents in South Africa, not naturally born South African officials in the commission. Okay, he's stating that, and I went to read the link and the requirement. The requirements to serve as a commissioner in the Human Rights Commission correctly so says you must be a South African citizen. It's very clear, the requirement. But my question is, being a South African citizen, does it mean by naturalization or by birth? Because we have 2 types of citizens, those who come as immigrants and they get naturalized, and they are South African citizens, there's no doubt about it, they are qualified to work. But I was explaining that that's why organizations like the EFF and Operation Dudula and many other people are concerned that there are people, when they look at them in layman's eyes and listen to them, they will say, but this person is originally a Zimbabwean. People don't go to an extent of saying, yeah, but he has now been naturalized. He's a South African citizen now. And that's what I was trying to explain. But as we correctly said, we'll engage with them, we'll have them on the platform. And where offense was given, I hope this clarification will actually tender an apology from us to them. But like we said, it's nice when people are at loggerheads and we say, come, let's sit down and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And thanks to Mr. Baloyi, by the way, and the Human Rights Commission, we will welcome them on the show.
Absolutely. Where would you like to start? Rotary menu, and rotary menu.
No. There's no other place to start from except the Phala Phala saga.
So, 6 years after a domestic worker found US dollars in a couch at a buffalo farm, Phala Phala has finally reached the room it is always going to land in. The public protector exonerated Ramaphosa in 2023. The Reserve Bank cleared the foreign exchange angle. The NPA declined to prosecute. IPID report sat classified as top secret until Action SA forced it open in Feb. Then last week, the ConCourt ruled that Parliament's 2022 vote to protect Ramaphosa was unconstitutional and invalid. So Ramaphosa goes on television on Monday night and tells us he is not resigning.
And you forgot one, or whoever that article is.
Yes.
SARS Customs said there were no dollars declared by Mustafa.
Yes.
On that particular day or on his arrival. Fresh, it is very important.
Have Home Affairs confirmed that he was in the country?
Yes, Home Affairs, yes, he was in the country.
Okay.
There was proof of entry at OR Tambo.
Okay.
And I think for people I don't want to rush the Phala Phala issue and take it on scheme or on face value, because people have to understand the issue of Phala Phala. It's multifaceted. It has 3 or 4 pronged legs.
Okay.
And if we don't look at it in that manner and category, people will not understand why a private buffalo sales of the President of the Republic has become a national interest as well as an international interest. And that's why it ended up in the Constitutional Court. Thanks to EFF, ATM, thanks to Action SA for pushing for the report of IPID and why IPID. Now, first, let's start basics. I always say to people, there's rules, there's laws, there's regulations. The basic rule regarding trade in this country is that you cannot trade on a foreign currency. It's very clear. The South African laws and regulations are very clear. When I say you cannot trade in a foreign currency, I mean you cannot use a pula or a dollar or a yen or whatever currency of any world in hard cash to purchase anything in the Republic of South Africa. It is not allowed by the regulations of trade in this country, including Forex, including the South African Reserve Bank regulations. That's a fundamental principle. And we go to the next leg is that there are always exceptions in public administration. There are exceptions on when and how people can use Forex to purchase anything or to trade or to make business in South Africa. Let's say you are an American and you want to buy a house in Cape Town. Of course, you've got dollars. The government has created regulations under the South African Reserve Bank, as well as South African Revenue Services, SARS, to say you will have to convert your dollars into the rands and purchase whatever you want to purchase in the Republic.
Or declare them at the port of entry.
That I was going to come to that. If you come with them in cash, there are also regulations. There are limitations not only in South Africa, even in other countries of the world, on the amount of cash you can carry of any currency. Each and every country has its own domestic regulations. There's a limit on the cash you can carry. You must declare that cash with customs, and customs must give you a permission to say, after you declare them, you don't go to Fresh Farm or Phala Phala or Botsang's Pasa Shop and purchase with that currency. Because the primary rule that I explained was you cannot purchase with foreign currency. You must go to an official financial services center, like a bank, like a forex exchange place, to exchange that foreign currency to the local currency, which is a rand, and use that to purchase. That is the law and the provisions of the law. Now, we will recall that during hardcore lockdown in 2020, during December of 2019 to 2020 or 2020, when Mr. Mustafa came to South Africa on Christmas Eve, carrying what is said to have been now 580,000 US dollars. If you terms it with exchange rate around that time, it was about 10 million rands. Okay, in cash, got into OR Tambo, no declaration. SARS has confirmed it. There was no dollars declared by Mr. Mustafa. Home Affairs has long confirmed Mr. Mustafa came into the country. Then he travels on whatever day, whatever mode of transport to Phala Phala to purchase buffaloes. He goes in there. We don't drag President Ramaphosa into this. He drags himself into this to say, that was my farm. I was out of the country. The manager of my farm was there. He received Mr. Mustafa. Mr. Mustafa paid in dollars cash. So I take responsibility of that business transaction. It's President Ramaphosa who says that. It's not us. So this is where President Ramaphosa, I'm saying, he is guilty of contravening, even if the regulations and the rules I've mentioned earlier, even if miraculously South African Reserve Bank, South African Revenue Services, Customs, the Department of Home Affairs, the Public Protector, and everybody else have said, no, we don't find any wrongdoing in that. And it's bizarre, Fresh. How do they find no wrongdoing? It's his money, it's his private treasury. He did not steal. Let us be very clear. But is it correct to trade with Forex? That was not declared. Was it correct for the manager of the president to accept Forex? We haven't arrived at how much and why the buffaloes are here. Let's leave that. We have discussed it before. Then we go to the next step. The money is not banked for almost 2 months until it's stolen. By who, or by the leak of who? A domestic employee of the president who is a foreign national. In the high unemployment country of the Republic of South Africa, the head of state still hires a foreign national to be a domestic helper. The domestic helper goes and connives with her cousins.
Maybe go bila on stuff.
Well, I think that's one of the most highest unemployment areas of the Republic of South Africa. You can go and check with the Department of Labor.
Maybe the day he was hiring, they went in.
Where were they, Fresh?
Maybe I could see. Maybe
You know what I love about this Phala Phala thing? It is going to expose quite a number of things. And a whole lot of things.
And that's my concern, Hori. Saying, let's play ball, is actually saying, come and look further into my business. Yeah. And does he want that really? But
why are you concerned? The president says my hands are clean. Come and open this thing.
But unfortunately, when your hands are clean, we will look at cupboards that are dirty. We'll want to see if there are cupboards that are dirty. We'll want to see if your hands might be clean, but is there dirt anywhere?
Now the dirt is starting to come out.
You see, and before we know it, Lebo Froliana will be now having to testify.
Exactly.
And they might tell us more than what we already know. You see, they might tell us more than what might happen in court.
Yeah.
They might tell us that, no, there's always money in couches here.
There is no might. It's already coming.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I
that
hear you.
You're opening yourself to so much scrutiny that do you want that smoke?
I think the president and his advisors, there's holes in the wall and water is coming in. You close with your fingers, you close with your toes. You end up now standing on one leg, tibakadi curve and all that. Yeah. And I think the president is trying to do that. The question becomes, why would he want to subject himself to such a problem? But let me go back to where I stopped. Then the money is not banked for 2 months. The money is touched in sofas, fresh. Please, guys, please.
But I've been to a lot of farms in that area.
Yeah.
And most farms in that area have massive safes.
Exactly.
Especially for hunting rifles.
I wanted to say to you.
And chances are, if you have security detail, there will be gun safes there.
There will be gun safes.
There will be massive safes where you can put money away safely.
Yeah, you start. Now it says, what does it say to a person like me? That money, and that's Botsang speculating.
Yes.
That money was transported in sofas to Phala Phala. And I think that's why it drew the attention of the domestic helper to say, oh, why news of us? And in cleaning them or positioning them, dollars started popping out. Then she goes and she connives with her cousins and friends of the cousin who are Namibian nationals to come and rob that farm. Now, what happens after that, Fresh? This is where it becomes interesting. This is where IPIT comes in and the Office of the Public Protector. Both the Office of the Public Protector as well as IPIT, which is the Independent Police Investigative Directorate,
yes.
that looks at the misconduct of policemen in South Africa. And but they both come with reports, 2 separate periods. The other March 2022, the other one later in 2023, to say the head of security of the president, who has nothing to do with guarding the farm, his duty and responsibility, General Road, and he's not a junior person, he's a major general in the South African Police Service, and of a prime VIP protection unit, gets instructions from President Ramaphosa. And it's not me who's saying that, it is President Ramaphosa who said to us in 2022, when this matter or this robbery was brought to his attention, he informed his head of security, guys, there's nothing wrong in President Ramaphosa informing the first security personnel you have. There's nothing wrong with that. People are saying you could have gone to the police. No. If I've got the head of security and it's my bodyguard, there's nothing wrong in first informing my bodyguard or my head of security about a robbery at my premises or at my business. What does Mr. Rood do? Major General Rood. He goes on a rampage. He breaks all laws. He takes matters in. He doesn't open the cases, doesn't report the matter to the police. He's a policeman, he's a major general. He does not work for President Ramaphosa. He works for South African Police Services. He's a seasoned policeman. He knows the rules, the procedures, and the responsibilities. No, he takes police choppers, boats, cars, blue lights, money. He goes all over the country and into a foreign country, Namibia, to hunt. And I'm using the word hunt very strongly. The suspects, captures them, tortures them, and got them arrested. He still does not open the case of theft. He himself, he still does not do that. He exploited the resources of the South African Police Service. The South African Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPIT, finds him guilty of that. The Public Protector finds him guilty of that, Mr. Rood. Guess what happened this week? In Parliament, the HR head of South African Police Services goes and address the Portfolio Committee on Police and say, there's nothing wrong that Mr. Rood or Major General Rood has done. We are not finding him guilty of anything. He is actually back at work. It happened during this week. Now, 2 independent institutions are saying this man has conducted himself ultra-virus. The president is still keeping that person. And that person is not found guilty. Thanks the Portfolio Committee has said substance, come and explain.
So are you suggesting that the minute IPID and the Public Protector found that Rood utotile, are you suggesting that the president should have acted immediately and distanced himself from him? Or maybe either made a statement or relieved him of his duties?
It's not him who would have. Procedurally, firstly, the president should have actually said, when I told him about this, I expected him to conduct himself in a proper way, not in an improper way. That's the first part. The second part is, it is in the powers of the president as the subject. You know, Rood is the BG, the bodyguard, as the subject to say to the Minister of Police, Minister, I've received 2 reports, or I've seen 2 reports about the person you have allocated to me as the head of security, and I am uncomfortable to be sitting with a head of security who is conducting himself ultra-virus. And can he be swapped or changed? Not to say he's guilty or what. And I said, that's what the president should have done. The president keeps him. You recall 2 years back, he flew with a flight to Ukraine for some trip to Russia. You remember when the African leaders went?
When they were stuck on a runway.
They were stuck in Poland on a runaway, and it was Rood again on the news, and he's still there. But it doesn't end there with Rood. Now, how does it come to the president first? All these things, I've mentioned the regulations and rules on how Forex work or foreign currency work in this country. And those are rules and regulations that are provided for by South African Customs under SARS or by South African Reserve Bank. It's regulations, it's rules. Now, people are saying, what wrong did the president do? He broke the trade rules of the country. He did that. It's clear to me. There's no in between.
But I get it. Surely then, whatever the outcome is so far, should be seen as some sort of precedent then. That I can also walk in with $500,000 in cash, not declare it, and as long as the sale was not completed or concluded, no law is broken. Surely we must treat it as a precedent then and celebrate.
Try it, my brother.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That surely then we must all celebrate.
All do that. Yeah.
We must all celebrate. Oh, okay, so it's allowed now.
Now, politically, people are saying, yeah, but there's no court of law that has found the president wrong. That is correct. There's no court of law. There's an inquiry, Section 89 inquiry, that have found as prima facie evidence that the president has conducted himself in an unbecoming manner.
Yes.
Politically, when you look at those optics and everything that has happened, people are saying, political parties are saying, Mr. President, you cannot be sitting comfortably on that chair when there is prima facie evidence that you have conducted yourself in an unbecoming manner. And if he wanted to save one himself, secondly, the face of the nation, he should have done the opposite of what he did on Monday. This has nothing to do whether people like President Ramaphosa or not. This is an ethical behavior or conduct of a man. Now, this is where Botsang comes in, and I'm saying, if President Ramaphosa says, let us respect the rule of law and the Constitution of the Republic. We'll respect it. We'll go and study the report. The Constitution of this Republic is the highest law of the country. It has supported the Section 89 findings to say they can be considered for impeachment.
Sure.
Why do you want to go through the impeachment process if you respect the law? Why do you want, and you know what they're going to do at the impeachment process of the committee that was established on Wednesday? It's obviously based on the majority rule. And understand that they're going to use the GNU majority, even if the ANC is sitting with 9 members in that committee. We'll come to that.
So the committee has 31 members?
31
from
members.
16 parties.
Yes.
ANC 9, DA 5, MKP 3, EFF 2, IFP, PA, FF Plus, Action SA, ACDP, UDM, Rise Mzansi, Bosa, ATM, Al Jamaa, NCC, and UAT each have 1.
Yes.
Good Party and PAC are not on the list. Do we know why?
I don't know why. Actually, you brought it to my attention.
And they have ministers in the executive.
I thought all 16 parties, if you count those parties, how many are they? Because
16 political parties.
If you count the ones with the numbers from ANC, are they 16?
What do you mean? Yes, it's 16 political parties.
But does it mean we have 18 in parliament? I don't know if I'm saying maths correctly. If you count ANC, DA, EFF, and the others that are listed there, because I thought we have 16 political parties.
Yes, so there's 16 here.
Then it means we have 18 political parties in parliament. I don't know why the Good Party and the PAC are not there, but if they were there, they will also get 1-1.
Exactly.
Now, let's be mathematical. There is no outright majority party. To impeach the president, to follow the normal process, you need 2/3 majority.
Yes.
That is not going to happen. ANC has 40% of the 2/3. That's not going to happen. But if they are going through the process of disciplinary and misconduct, there's 2 ways, and people must differentiate that. There's a difference to impeach, follow the impeachment process of the committee. There's one where a political party can file a motion of no confidence. A motion of no confidence does not need 2/3 majority.
Which is what the MKP have done already.
That's what the MKP have done. They'll rather go that route.
Yes.
You just need 51%. And I'm saying, even going through the motion of no confidence in the president, they will still not win.
Sure.
Because they will not get 51%. ANC is sitting with 40%, and we know how the ANC rally behind their leaders when it comes to motions of no confidence. President Zuma had 9 that failed. What does the ANC need? It just needs 11%. As I explained last week, the DA is caught up in a corner where they are becoming the kingmakers. The DA was at the forefront of Phala Phala in 2022, 2023, and half of 2024 before they were part of the government. The Democratic Alliance leader, the new elected leader, who's the mayor of the city of Cape Town, came out in public this week, and for me that's concerning and embarrassing, and say he has received calls from capital, like business people in this country,
and comrades
in the ANC and comrades in DA,
saying, "But
she says, please make sure this thing doesn't happen." How embarrassing and ironic that ANC members phones a DA leader and say, "Please help us."
Actually, we must protect
to save our president.
No, but we must protect our president.
Fresh,
it's not, for me, it's not unusual, and that's how politics works. Politics is about how can you scratch my back today so I can scratch yours tomorrow.
The Democratic Alliance was the opposition in this country when this thing happened. The Democratic Alliance was at the forefront of Phala Phala.
Sure.
Phala Phala. That was the DA. Are you saying the principle of the DA of good governance has now collapsed because they are part of the GNU and they are even being called in to protect a president or a leader that's not theirs?
The DA need the GNU more as part of campaigning the bigger campaign than they do to vote against President Ramaphosa. I think the DA are playing the longer game here, that they can't afford not to be in the thing, because once they're outside the thing, they can't influence the thing or prove to the electorate that we're in the thing, but we're in the thing for you.
How
So
will a
unfortunately,
political party...
unfortunately, everything comes at a price, and every person has a price.
Okay, so
that's
the price...
That's the price for the DA.
Yeah,
now we know the price.
The price here is that parties like the DA, probably the Patriotic Alliance and IFP and others are prepared to sell their members or their principle in protection of President Ramaphosa so that they remain in the GNU.
I mean, it's similar to the question people would often ask President Ramaphosa, that you speak of 9 wasted years, but you were there for those 9 years.
Absolutely.
And his argument has always been, I was of more benefit in the thing, so I can fight from within than being outside the thing. So for me to distance myself from the thing might have actually been to our own detriment. So I had to grin, bear it, bite my tongue, and wait my 10 so that we can try and turn things around. I don't know.
Fresh,
what do I know?
To my fellow South Africans,
yes,
you are powerless. You don't have leadership. You cannot bank on politicians. South Africans have only one thing to their power, their vote. That's all. And they use it once in 5 years, local, once in 5 years, national. That's all they have. If you have leaders who are spineless and bend principles, and all of them, there's no exception in this instance, all of them, they bend their spines, they bend principles not to satisfy what they promised the electorate, not to stick to their policies, their own policies, but to go and satisfy other people, to remain in a comfort zone. President Ramaphosa has called this nation to say, let us respect the rule of law. And I'm saying to President Ramaphosa, respecting the rule of law is respecting the constitutional court decision that there is prima facie evidence that you have conducted yourself in an unbecoming manner with the Phala Phala trade, and therefore my view is respect the constitution. You misbehaved, Mr. President. He misbehaved.
So he's saying he mustn't take this section on review?
No, and I want to come to that. There's a very big debate about the review and all of that.
Yeah, because some are saying, why now when you should have done it from the get-go if you were that concerned?
He did, by the way, to the benefit of President Ramaphosa, he did take the Section 89. For people who do not know, Section 89 is an allocation in the Constitution and the National Assembly rules that if there's misconduct by public office bearers, the Speaker of Parliament may form a committee, like he did with former Chief Justice Ngobo, who headed the Section 89 Commission on Phala Phala. It was a commission by 3 people. Ironically, guess some of the people who contributed to that, Justice Madlanga was one of them. The current evidence leader at Madlanga Commission, Advocate Sello, the senior counsel, was part of that, and Justice Ngobo, they came with a report. That report is subject to the Speaker calling all other parties or members of the National Assembly to discuss the report, or President Ramaphosa, as provided for by the law, to take that report on review, which he did. But what did President Ramaphosa do in 2022? He took that review to the Constitutional Court. He didn't take it to the High Court. He took it on one to the Constitutional Court, two on an expedited application. The Constitutional Court dismissed that application. They didn't even hear it. They said he came, I looked at that ruling this week, he came to the wrong court, so he jumped the gun. He didn't go to the High Court, firstly. Secondly, he put it on expedited. Now, what is the difference between expedited and urgent? Urgent application in courts or the High Court is there, but expedited is preferential. It means the court should have given this a preferential treatment. The Constitutional Court rejected that. And President Ramaphosa did not pursue. He opted. He even said it on Monday during the nation address. He said he had an opportunity in 2022 when the Constitutional Court or the Apex Court dismissed his application to take it to the High Court. He did say it. However, he opted not to take it to the High Court. Now, this is what I'm saying. You chose not to. You are not forced. What did President Ramaphosa bank on? On the other option that was running in Parliament, the vote to adopt the Section 89 report or not.
And then make it go away.
Yes, he banked on that vote. The ANC still had majority. They had 57% of approximate in Parliament. They voted not to adopt that report, and President Ramaphosa laid back. You understand? He banked on the political vote.
But should he have been adamant that, yes, Parliament has voted as they have, but I still want to clear certain things?
You know, Fresh, you took my words.
Because for me, if you're worried about the things that are said about you, then the fact that someone here has made it go away, that hasn't cleared your name.
It hasn't cleared your name, yes. Correctly so. He should have proceeded to the High Court that time to clear his name. I carry the purpose of President Ramaphosa, or his intent is to clear his name.
It's to clear his name. It's not to make it go away.
It's not to make it go away.
Yes.
Now the Constitutional Court has come and said that parliamentary process is unconstitutional. You know, that's what I always tell people. There's a difference between general law and public administrative law. That is a political process of parliament. Yes. Administratively, it is not in the best interest of justice and the best interest of the country that you must use votes to clear an alleged wrongdoing by the head of state.
The law is the law is the law.
The law is the law. And I've said to people, it is not about Ramaphosa, it is the law. And it is in his right to could have done this. Now I'm saying to people, I want to see which court in this land is going to preside on a matter that is 4 years old, if not 6. It's 4 years because the ConCourt ruled in 2022 to dismiss this. He didn't exercise his rights 4 years back. And nobody says, when can you exercise your rights? You can go to the court at any time. But the ship has sailed. In law, there's a statement that they like using in courts. For some of us who have been in courts many times, will know the statement that the option of President Ramaphosa to go to the High Court and take Section 89 report on review has been overtaken by events. 2 events. One, the Constitutional Court dismissed his application in 2022. 2, the Constitutional Court has ruled last week that the process that happened in Parliament in 2022, 2023, which the president banked on, was unconstitutional. It has been overtaken by events. That's why, even when he has applied to the court to be heard, the process as directed by a Constitutional Court order, it's continuing.
Yes, sir.
The Speaker of Parliament announced on Monday, you know what was funny? When the ConCourt announced this thing last week. By the way, I nailed it last week what's going to happen. When you asked me to predict, I told you what's going to happen.
Yes.
You know what was interesting for me? The economic freedom fighters, 10 minutes after the ConCourt judgment, they had already written to the Speaker.
Yes.
while Julius Malema was on stage addressing the followers, the legal team of EFF had already written to the speaker to say, constitute the committee.
Yes.
On Monday, ATM and others and Action SA, they supported that. On Monday, the speaker announced that they are going to establish the committee. By Wednesday, the Speaker of Parliament, Mayor Toko Didiza, had rallied all chief whips of all political parties in a caucus to say, please help me, how are we going to do this?
Yes.
You understand? And then that was Wednesday. On Thursday, they announced that 31 members will sit there and we want their names by next week, Friday. Political parties must have submitted the names of the people who are going to sit in that committee. That is the correct way of handling and doing things in Parliament. There is a court order of the Apex Court. Parliament is acting correctly and accordingly. This has nothing to do with firing Ramaphosa. It is uncovering the truth.
Absolutely.
What I like about this truth is already, earlier on when you introduced this topic, you said you will open the cupboards, the dirty cupboards. Guess what happened this week? The IPT report that was presented to Parliament about Mr. Major General Rode. In that report, there's two things that are very critical. One, they say the monies that were found in the transaction of Emmanuel, the
Floriana, yes.
Yes, the alleged thug.
Yes.
It's more than 10 million.
So we're told
15 million. So what does it say? There's now an investigation whether there was actually 580,000 US dollars only there or more.
But remember, that's what I was saying earlier on, that unfortunately when you open yourself up to the scrutiny, we're going to actually get more than what we already know.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And depending on who's asking what questions, these staffers are going to actually tell us way more than we'd bargained for.
There's two things that must happen that's going to save President Ramaphosa. I know in Parliament is going to be saved because the ANC has made a decision. That's clear. If they go on using their majority in this committee, there are 9 in this committee.
Yeah.
There are 9. And the DA is on their side. DA has about 5.
No, but
EFF 3.
No, but Jordan Hill Lewis spoke about they need to do the right thing the other day on Talk Radio 702.
No, Jordan Lewis starts sounding like Fikile Mbalula. He's sitting in Cape Town in the mayoral's chambers. He wants to instruct those people in Parliament who are guarding their stomachs like John Steenhuisen to do that. What is the right thing?
What's in the best interest of the country? And I mean, that's the impression the DA have always given us, that they do things in the best interest of the country. So if they're going to be voting for the sake of protecting an individual versus is it in the best interest of the country? You know, because ultimately this is also an acid test for, are these the parties you want to vote for at the next general election?
Exactly.
You see,
forget even general, even the local.
Even for the local government. So this vote is part of your campaign.
Yes.
It's part of what you're saying to your electorate, that vote for us because we believe in the rule of law. We believe in doing the right thing. We believe in this is a constitutional democracy and we must defend the Constitution.
I see a boost.
So the DA are caught between a rock, a hard place, and a gravy train.
Yeah, that's right. I see a boost for the opposition, especially those that are not in government, ATM, EFF, Action, SA, and controversies apart. I see a boost for them, but this is going to be interesting time. This is not about President Ramaphosa resigning or doing, or whether he's guilty or not. That's not that.
Yeah.
For me, you are the head of state. You are occupying an office, and there has been alleged transgressions. Why do you want to go through a process that a normal Botsang goes through in court when you deep down knows that by the rules, and the difficulty, Fresh, we are faced with as a nation, is that this thing has dragged other institutions of state into it. You know, when between President Mbeki and President Zuma, I remember Polokwane 2007 going to 2008, there was a very fashionable statement used in South Africa that the Mbeki administration is using the apparatus of the state. They are abusing the state institutions like the then Scorpions to get to President Zuma.
To settle scores.
Yeah, to settle scores and all that. I'm saying, Phala Phala has exposed to me, at least, on how the head of state has abused various institutions of the state to can protect this Phala Phala thing. But Phala Phala is not going to die. And if people think it is just to protect President Ramaphosa until 2029 or until he finishes his term, they are not realizing. I can be an advisor to the DA and the ANC. They are not realizing how this thing is going to dent and or damage further, the ANC in the eyes of the people of this country. To say you will go and defend wrongdoing, Kadibunu, as they always say, you understand? So it's going to damage them. I can tell them now, unless they don't care, as the arrogance of we don't care, we are the party in power, we've got the 40% majority, we don't care. But this is going to be damaging to them. And let's see when this committee starts. Now it's committee after committee. The ad hoc committee of police that has been in Parliament, we're giving 31 more days extension to call more witnesses because things are uncovering, things are coming out. Then ask yourself in conclusion, Fresh, we've got 17 police generals or senior officials in police who are in court today for maladministration and various things. Then you've got the police rewarded in the presidency, VIP protection. Ask yourself, what is it that the police are protecting so much when they are supposed to be the vanguards and the custodians of conducting us in a proper way? Police are even prepared to sacrifice their own careers, hard-earned careers of over 20, 30 years to protect civil servants who are corrupt and political office bearers who are being alleged or mentioned in corruption. Look at it. Look at the people who are in court. Majority are policemen who are supposed to be actually guarding our constitution with pride and that batch of subs. They are now sitting in courts because they failed to conduct themselves well. But Phala Phala is not going to die. I just needed to explain that people who don't understand that the apex is the highest court of the land. I do not see, I want to see, Fresh, next week we will sit here. I do not think the High Court of South Africa, whether it's in the Western Cape or it's going to be in Limpopo, which is Gauteng North is covering Limpopo. I want to see which High Court of this land is going to grant President Ramaphosa. I agree, you don't go automatically to court. You apply. President Ramaphosa has applied. He informed us on Monday. I want to see which court is going to grant or to approve that application for this matter to be heard. And the basis, they will grant that after the apex in 2022 has dismissed this. I want to see a high court ruling against the Constitutional Court decision. That is going to be very interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
May we move on from Phala Phala?
Yes, sir.
We're going to stay in the ConCourt.
Okay.
There's an asylum case, the Irankunda case. Two Burundian respondents had their asylum applications rejected as manifestly unfounded back in 2014. They didn't challenge those decisions. Then in 2018, after the 2015 violence in Burundi, they lodged fresh applications as surplace refugees. The SCA said they had the right to do so. The ConCourt, in a majority judgment by Justice Kolopin, has now reversed that, saying the term surplace was being incorrectly applied to subsequent applications by failed asylum seekers. In practical terms, if your application has been finally determined, you cannot keep reapplying and stay in the country and reapply.
Yeah.
The question then is, I'm from Burundi. I'm fleeing war.
Yes.
I apply. You reject me. I should go back to Burundi?
No.
Okay.
No. That I like that judgment a lot.
Yes.
I've got vested interest in immigration issues.
Yeah.
With the newly proposed Citizenship Act and the old regulation of the Immigration Act and Asylum, process in South Africa, we as a constitutional democracy, being led by the Bill of Rights, we cannot, remember the extradition, we cannot extradite a person. It's one example. For example, if you face a possible death sentence in the Republic of Botswana, you have committed a crime there, and you run to South Africa, you're a South African citizen, we can't extradite you to Botswana because we are anti-capital punishment. That's just an example. In terms of the Immigration Act and the Asylum Seekers
So if I am Botswana and I say, we undertake that we will not execute them, but we'd like for them to be extradited nonetheless.
Look, that's going to
have there been
start
cases like that?
yes, diplomatic engagement to say, do we trust that they won't do it?
Okay.
It's going to differ from case to case, country to country.
Okay.
South Africa will have to consider that. But, imagine if it's North Korea, say, no, we won't hang that person, bring him in, we'll just charge him. I don't think our Bill of Rights and our high courts will accept that kind of practice. I don't think so. Unless it's a country that we believe they will not do it.
Okay.
But going back to this immigration or asylum seekers ruling, I'm glad it was the majority of the Constitutional Court judges. It sets a very good precedent.
Yeah.
What they are saying is, they don't say throw the people out to wherever they come from originally, especially in the case of Burundi. When they sought asylum residents in South Africa, it was not because of the war. It was because at that time they claimed to have been running away from possible persecution by the then regime or government. Now, while they were here after their decline, that's where South Africa does things wrong. You decline somebody's application, you then continue to allow that person to live in the republic. That vacuum was a problem. And I've always said, when you apply for a normal visa or permit to come to South Africa, you must apply at your country of residence and wait there.
Okay.
But with asylum seekers, it's a different story. You come running, you don't have a passport, you don't have anything.
And often you're running with just the clothes on your back.
The clothes that you are wearing, and you arrive at Beitbridge or Lebombo or any other border post and say, hey, I'm running away from home.
But you've passed so many countries to get here.
No, but remember, we didn't have that rule.
Yes.
You like that rule. Now you must be happy because the country has adopted
I don't
policy.
think it's fair that one country must bear the brunt of asylum seekers when there's so many other countries you could have gone to.
I agree.
And I understand why many a country will say, if you've jumped 3 countries to get here, we're not interested.
We're not interested, yes. Yeah. But we didn't have that rule when this case went into court. Actually, it emanates from 2012, 2014.
Yes, 2014.
Now, what the Constitutional Court is saying is to these people or to the country, now you can leave now, but it does not say South Africa must deport them to Burundi if they still fear for their lives in Burundi. We are required by the Bill of Rights to make sure that they go to any other safe country that is prepared to receive them.
At whose cost?
At our cost, yes. Or if they can afford, like the Junior Mugabe case, if they can afford to go anywhere. Let's say country C, let's say the UK says we'll receive them, or Belgium will receive them. If they have money to fly to Belgium or to travel to Belgium or the UK, then they will travel. But if they don't, we have to deport them to a country that is prepared to receive them.
Okay.
If there is no country, and now I'm being practical,
yes.
If there is no country that says we'll receive them, certainly we'll have to keep them here. There's no choice. We can't throw them out.
Okay.
Our Bill of Rights doesn't accept. But what does this say? This says, and I've heard even legal experts in immigration saying, no, this ConCourt decision is only applicable to these Burundian nationals. No, it's not. There's something called judicial precedent. So all other people who came to South Africa as asylum seekers now, and they're in South Africa, and their applications from this week moving forward are rejected, those people will be subjected to the same rule.
So you can't stay and apply again?
You can't stay and apply again in the Republic of South Africa. The decision does not say everybody, but it's a judicial precedent. I don't see any NGO or individual going to the Constitutional Court to try and apply again when there's already a judicial precedent in place. And I think, Fresh, this decision, hand in hand with the newly proposed white paper on citizenship, immigration, and asylum seekers, it will help the Department of Home Affairs, if they apply it effectively, to deal with this thing of illegal foreign nationals. Because look, when you are in South Africa and you don't have asylum papers or a passport or what, you are an illegal immigrant, officially, you understand? But if Home Affairs and law enforcement entities can apply the ruling of the Constitutional Court effectively, it will go a long way to make sure that people who came here from as far as Bangladesh, Pakistan and Somalia, and they are not staying in South Africa illegally. It will relieve the burden on the fiscus of the country and services of the country, like we always talk to. This has nothing to do with xenophobia. We saw what happened this week in the African Union. Ghana, that we praised last week or 2 weeks ago. Ghana, out of all the countries in the world, Ghana, that its officials and residents and citizens have said they don't want Nigerians in Ghana. They were very specific to chase Nigerians out in Ghana, whether legally or not. They went to the African Union and complained because of social media and other hype that is happening to say South Africa is having xenophobia against African people. Ghana, out of all the countries, how embarrassing. Now, the African Union, which is a lap sleeping dog, very useless organization. People are dying in South Sudan. People are dying in Burundi. People are dying in Nigeria, being killed for religious purposes and ethnical purposes. People are dying in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The African Union is shut up. They are silent. One country called Ghana stands up and complains at the AU Commission for racism and xenophobia and say it looks like there's xenophobia in South Africa, and the AU suddenly wakes up. There's no single foreign national who has been killed in South Africa in the recent months or years because of xenophobia or Afrophobia, whatever. Not even one person. The ambassador of Nigeria, we spoke about it last week, stood up and said there's no single Nigerian who has been killed by South Africans in South Africa in the last year or so. Ghana stands up and says there's xenophobia in South Africa. With xenophobia, when South Africans rise and say enough, it's enough, with foreign nationals, and for me, Fresh, whether they are legal or illegal, and I've said it over and over, whether you are legal or illegal here, whether you have papers or not, if you are a guest in my house, you have to behave and conduct yourself as a guest.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to, out you go. Whether these borders, and this is why I differ with the EFF, whether these borders are colonial or not, they are here.
Yes.
There's rules.
And there are rules and laws and regulations.
There's rules and laws in place. If you don't agree with the law, there's a parliament there with 400 people.
Yes.
Take it there. To take this thing on the streets, you can demonstrate, and I like South Africans. I'm proud of my people to peacefully demonstrate and not attack people physically.
Yes.
Understand? But you can't tell us not to protest, not to demonstrate. Now I've seen the ruling ANC and other parties are starting to say, no, these foreign nationals must go. They are campaigning now. They've been silent all the years. They saw nothing when they gave everybody permits. They saw nothing wrong in allowing all foreign nationals from all over the world, not Africa, from East Europe, from Asia. Everybody comes here and do as they wish. And the government of the Republic of South Africa allowed that nonsense to happen, and they want to come up now as political parties and say, no, they are putting a burden and a strain. I listen to Dada Morero, I listen to the ANC leadership in KwaZulu-Natal saying, no, it's a burden, they must start going. Our country is strained, the fiscal is strained, and therefore we cannot cater, we cannot be, what do you call it, a mama to all African nationals. It's not African. It is actually all countries, regions, continents of the world. We have all nationals here. Understand? So I think political parties should actually go and revise the law. It's going to be very difficult, and this is where the EFF is right. It's going to be difficult because you don't apply the law retrospectively.
Yes.
If we pass and we change and we amend our laws now, the problem is we've got, I say, almost 25 million foreign nationals living here, legal and illegal. So we are stuck with 25 million, of which I think only 10 million are here legally. What are we going to do with those people? That's what we should worry about. Even if we change the laws, are we going to put them on a ship and deport them? Are we going to put them on planes and deport them? Where do we start? That's the thinking we're supposed to be having.
When your house is flooded with water, you start one cup at a time, and you add a bucket, and then get a bigger bucket. But if you just say the house is flooded, but do nothing about the flood, then your house will stay flooded. Unfortunately, you have to start somewhere in order to get out anywhere.
Yes.
You
or
see.
creating
so we
a
can't
gap.
just put our hands in the air and say the house is flooded. Now there's nothing we can do. There will never ever be an opportunity. There should never be an opportunity to just put your hands in the air and say, "We've tried, we failed."
No, we have to put an action to the new rules we are implementing. Look, I've got my own proposal and plan that I've crafted on how the country is supposed to handle this. I will not disclose it until after about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And there's a personal reason.
You'll understand why in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they will understand it. And there's a reason on how this thing can be, and based on international models and practices.
Yes.
The other countries, Germany has done it. You don't have to be inhuman. You don't have to be cruel. You don't have to do anything illegal to deal with crisis and to clean the country.
Absolutely.
You know, I said to one politician, and he said to me, I said, this is my plan. And this person said to me, you will be choking them and squeezing them. I said, that's what you do. You make life. Let's say you are dealing with a criminal. And I've always said to law enforcers, and I've said it about taxis in the past when I was at transport, you can't fight them. You can't impound their taxis. You can choke them. You can make them to be unable to conduct business. Then they get into debt. Then their vehicles get not impounded by the police, but repossessed by the banks. So you make it impossible for them to function and live freely and happily and irresponsibly in the country. So, but you do it within the legal parameters.
Okay.
But like I said, I've got a Botsang plan, and after 2 weeks, I'll make that plan public.
So,
Yep.
we're going to stay in the ConCourt.
Yes.
You
love the ConCourt.
I love the ConCourt. The least I can do since
Justice Maya is going to like this show.
Since I didn't finish my LLB. Maybe I should go back and complete my LLB, but story for another day.
Yeah.
So Dr. Naniba Magudumana,
Oh, yes.
is she still a doctor?
She's remaining. No, fresh. I don't recall if the. I don't recall.
Was she not
If
struck off the roll?
I don't know if she struck off the roll, but look, this is Dr. Magudumana.
Okay. So she's asking the ConCourt to invalidate her own arrest by attacking how she got home. Her argument is that her removal from Arusha in Tanzania, April 2023, was not a deportation under Tanzanian immigration law. It was a disguised extradition by agreement between the two states. And the argument is she was only arrested when they got her here, and that there was an agreement between Home Affairs here and Home Affairs that side,
Yes.
that there must be a handover.
Yes.
And that she was only be arrested here.
Yes.
So basically, and you've argued for the last 2 years that these people were abducted. For the last 3 years, you've argued that this was an abduction,
When this,
not an extradition.
When this came up,
Yeah.
I wanted to send you a text when I saw it on Wednesday to say, Fresh, what do you recall? What did I say in
No,
April?
3 years ago, you said these were abductions and not extraditions.
I want the Republic of South
Come
Africa
in.
citizens to go to
There's someone at the door knocking. Come in. Oh, they're not coming in. Okay, no, carry on.
one of our episodes, or there was many, but one of our episodes in April, and I think it's the very first episode after the one before and the one after, when Beki Cele, the then Minister of Police, they hired a private jet, they sent the police to Tanzania, Arusha, they sent Home Affairs officials. It was called a multi-departmental operation that happened in Arusha, not at Lanseria. I said, in my experience as a consular diplomat, what we did was wrong. I am repeating the same words, and I'm fully aware that the Supreme Court of Appeal, that's why Dr. Magudumana, it's in the apex court. The Supreme Court of Appeal, and people must learn to read judgments very carefully. One of the judges at the Supreme Court of Appeal said, and that was the judgment, they dismissed this application to say Dr. Magudumana did not put the application properly, did not argue the fact that they recited in court. It's not what they put at the very beginning when they went to the High Court. And now she's bringing those things to the Constitutional Court. First, we may all not like Magudumana. Many of us, I'm one of them, who think what she did, if found guilty, the alleged things she did, which I know that it's not allegation, it's true, the stealing of corpses.
So you'd never do that for love? If your person was in prison and you have an opportunity to spring them out of prison.
Me, fresh. If I have a criminal of a partner, I will leave her to be in prison. I don't get involved in criminal activities.
Okay.
But I don't want to talk about Nandipha Magudumana, the person.
Yes.
I repeat what I've said 3 years back. I want to talk about the rule of law. What is the international practice saying, the Vienna Convention, the international regulations about extradition, deportation? I've explained this over and over for years. What, in my view, and I want the episode of April 2023. In today's episode, I want our viewers and followers and lawmakers and Minister Schreiber and other people in the BMA, they must keep those episodes and wait for the Constitutional Court ruling. If Magudumana had lawyers who watched Wow What a Week, #Politricks, they would have used my statements. They would have long won this case. You cannot extradite a person without an extradition agreement. The 2 countries' lawmakers, including Home Affairs and DERCO, they must have an extradition agreement with Tanzania in this instance to say the Republic of Tanzania will say to South Africa, we have a person here, we want to deport, he's illegal here. Remember, the Tanzanians didn't say, Thabo Bester and Magudumana, Interpol, come and get them because they were on the Interpol watch. They said, we are deporting these people. Boom, what did South Africa do? No, Tanzania, wait, we have an embassy there in Dar es Salaam. We are sending a private jet to come and take those people. Basic knowledge. Is that not abduction? Is it not abduction? That's not extradition. Extradition, like we just extradited people. Now, in the last few months, the alleged killers of AKA from the kingdom of Eswatini. That is extradition. We followed process. Minister Mamuluku Kubai, DERCO, South African Police Service all worked together with the NPA. They followed process. They applied. They engaged the embassy of Eswatini. They applied to Eswatini. The Eswatini High Court presided over the application, and they said it meets the requirements of the extradition treaty and extradition agreement between Eswatini and South Africa, and therefore the High Court of Eswatini gave instruction to the police service of Eswatini to hand over the
2 brothers.
The 2 brothers. Where did they hand over? Not at some prison in Eswatini. At where the court had ordered. You don't go as a South African police service when you are limited to work within the boundaries of South Africa. Or Home Affairs, you go to Arusha to pick up a person with a private jet. Let's leave Thabo Bester out of this. The argument,
but we can't leave Thabo Bester out of it because she's in it because of Thabo Bester.
Yeah, but I'm saying Thabo Bester is not part of this application.
Oh, okay,
He's got his.
I hear you, yes.
You understand? Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, as allegedly evil and wrong as she is, the words, they banked on one statement. They said, she said, I miss my children. I want to go home to my children. Now, the argument of the Department of Home Affairs, SAPS, and Justice, and everyone else is those words constitute, I am volunteering to go home. That is their argument. One judge at the Supreme Court of Appeal, one judge said in a statement, those words that it's alleged she said, they are nowhere proved in the court papers that Dr. Magudumana, by saying that, meant you can take me home.
Yes.
There's no way. So I want to see Justice Maya and all those who have presented what is going to be the outcome out of this. I am saying if all fairly is considered and we don't look at Dr. Magudumana as an alleged fugitive criminal and somebody who aided a criminal to escape out of prison, I am saying if we are fair and we look it on the basis of what is extradition, I am saying the Constitutional Court is going to rule in her favor. If we look at things fairly, we don't look at her. If the Constitutional Court believes that the words I miss my children. I want to go home to my kids. If the ConCourt believes those words means you can take me home when I arrive at Lanseria, you can arrest me. Only that. Then she's going to lose this whole case. But I will find it very difficult if we follow protocol, if we follow international regulations and rules. South Africa should have allowed, simple enough said it, should have allowed Tanzania to deport Magudumana and Bester, or Magudumana only, to deport. Thabo Bester should have been handed over to Interpol, or both to Interpol.
No, but so are you saying there should have been, each one's case should have been treated according to its own merits?
By us.
By us,
By
okay.
South Africa.
Okay.
They should have treated those according to its own merits. She was not yet charged. She was wanted because she was with somebody who's wanted.
Yeah.
There were no charges hanging.
Hey, she was part of this fantastic story.
Yes, you understand? So
Yeah.
what should have happened? South Africa had already tipped Interpol. South Africa should have said, through our High Commission in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's capital, High Commissioner, can you please inform the Tanzanian authorities that these people are on Interpol watch? Interpol, do as we do always. Arrest these two people, or Tanzania, hand them over to Interpol. Then Interpol will work closely with SAPS to bring them back into the country. Then when they arrive in the country, they get charged jointly or individually or whatever. The criminal justice is presiding. That's what we should have done. We should have left there. If we don't want to follow the rules and regulations of extradition, if you don't want to follow the rules, don't break the rules. We are in court today, at the Apex Court today, with Dr. Magudumana, because we did not want to follow the rules. We were excited. There was too much sensation. There was Betty and what is that movie or book, Betty and what, who were running away. What is that couple that decided to commit suicide because they were running away from justice? There's a famous Betty and somebody. Either way. But yeah, Bonnie and
Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. We are very excited as a country.
No, we love a good romantic crime thriller.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But we can't allow Minister Kubai, okay, sorry to Minister Kubai, because she was not the minister at that time, but she's inherited this, and any other minister to break the law. You cannot break international law. In conclusion to this, Fresh, in Botsang Mwilwa's words, this is my analysis, this is my opinion, based on rules, based on experience. What happened in Tanzania against Magudumana was not extradition, it was neither deportation, it was an abduction. And I'm basing it solely on what transpired there. They still never told us where did they get the money to send a private jet there to go and take Magudumana. That's how important. What? Really? A private jet to go and pick him up there. Hey, them. Nah, Fresh, some of these things you don't need to be a diplomat or a rocket scientist to can see when things are not done in good place. You know what I was thinking when I looked at Madlanga and other cases? I think sometimes the government messes up the cases in order to protect some big fishes. I think so, because why would we break the law? Why was Home Affairs not listened to by SAPS? Why did Home Affairs adhere to all this? You understand? Why are we doing such things when we've got crystal clear rules? We are priding ourselves to be a law-abiding. We have a best constitution. We talked about ICJ, and we don't want to adhere to those rules, regulations, and practices. And now we are about to be embarrassed. I do not favor anybody in this, but I am praying that the Constitutional Court must be just and fair, so that I can stand up and say, but I told you, let us stick to the rules.
Sure.
We could have not been having this drama of Magudumana.
Now we're wasting time with this back and forth.
Exactly. We can't even go to the main case for Magudumana to come and answer for her actions.
There's a family looking for justice because their son was murdered.
You see, their son was murdered, families lost corpses. That's the nucleus of the case, and we are sitting here wasting time with a beautiful doctor who's saying, but you abducted me. You remember what I suggested that time? Even after doing that, they should have, when they arrive, they let her go home and arrest her.
Exactly.
That simple things, simple tactics.
Semantics.
And the chef said, "Wena, we are
home.
coming for you. Welcome home. Go to your kids.
No, the chef just said, you said you miss your kids, go home.
Go home. And then go and
Almost similar to what they do at Madlanga. No, come talk to us.
Yes.
We just want to talk. On Friday, king.
But you know what? I don't like something about the PKTT and Madlanga. And there's something I don't like. On a serious note, this thing of arresting people at midnight in their pajamas. Why the drama?
Because you might be running away.
No, fresh.
We must get you where we know you are.
No.
No, I get we're tracking you. So we want to know that you're exactly where you're at so that we can do what we need to do.
Yeah, but
and
please,
if
man.
we need to also raid and take cell phones and take, we must do that.
But why come in the middle of the night? 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I'm talking to my ancestors and there's kicking of doors.
We're not doing this for your convenience, unfortunately.
No, that's not nice.
It's like people who say, why do you have roadblocks at 7 p.m.? We're going to work. Because there's criminals on the road at 7 a.m. When should there be roadblocks?
Anyway, thanks to the ConCourt, I think Justice Maya and the team, they're working. We have to clap hands and give credit when things are working.
But, now for me, the way she glossed over the fact that they took over 500 days to give this ruling for me is a problem.
No.
Because you can't just say, we're sorry.
Sorry, that's not enough, Justice Maya.
Why did it take 500 days? It's not an unfair ask.
It's what, over 2 years, eh? Almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years. And it's not an unfair ask, but why did it take 500 days?
We don't know. We'll hear the Phala Phala thing, we'll hear. But the Magudumana thing, it's interesting for me.
Sure.
Look, if the ConCourt is going to say, no, stay in jail, that was not an abduction, unfortunately for Magudumana, and the NPA must start doing their job now, which is many years of a trial. There's many things, there's many people involved. Some people have died. Now we're going to hear more of law enforcers, police, and prison warders who were involved in that process. SAPS again.
Here we go.
SAPS.
Here we go again.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Madlanga.
Yes.
A lot of us heard about SAP 13 evidence register for the first time.
Yeah. Okay, we call it substating, man.
Yeah,
people know it about cars.
Yes.
But it's for everything.
Exactly. So
he's laughing.
541 kilograms of cocaine walked out of a Hawks storeroom in Port Shepstone, November 2021. It was booked in, booked out, logged, locked. The keys were handed to people who shouldn't have had them. The alarm was disconnected for non-payment, and 715 kilograms of cocaine seized at Ayrton in July 2021 became a story about who will get the cocaine first.
Yeah. Between the real owners of the cocaine, the importers, the senior police officials, and the drug cartels.
Sure.
So everybody was fighting for this.
Sorry, could we please have more coffee?
And Trevor is refusing.
Please have two more coffees.
And I hope Ramaphosa is not going to comment on this. He says, I'm so addicted to coffee that I even ask for extra.
No, Ramaphosa, you need to understand, he's not addicted to coffee. He's addicted to being alert. He just chooses coffee as the way to stay alert.
Yes, I could have.
There are other ways. He could have raided the substatin.
I could have sniffed something.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks, Fresh.
You could have raided substatin for inspiration. And the weird thing is there'd been a massive shipment of mandrax in that same safe for the longest time.
Yes. They were never stolen.
They were never stolen.
Yes. But Fresh, what happens there? What I like about this process, Madlanga Commission? It is actually uprooting the rod and showing how syndicates operate. When Lieutenant General Ndlozi on the 6th of July 2025 stand in front of cameras and told us of the value chain and the rod or the entire chain of the criminal cartels with the police, many people were upset, many people were shocked, some did not understand what we are talking about. But as you said, that howl or safe was used for many years to host drugs, and there were main drugs there. It was never broken into. Security was compromised. I listened to one of the retired senior police officials who was responsible for taking that cocaine into that, saying he had asked Fresh over 4 times for police senior management or supply chain management to pay at least the surveillance camera company that was the connection of the alarm and surveillance cameras. How do you go and store cocaine worth billions at a place you are refusing to approve a contract of 560 rands per month to put cameras and alarm to guard exhibit?
To guard the thing.
The thing. That worth billions. And that's why I am very upset. I must mention this one. And it's political and it's unjust. I am very upset that the National Prosecuting Authority is charging General Commissioner Fani Masemola for not adhering to the PFMA. And you put him in the dock with alleged criminal cartels, the cat matlalas of this world, because he approved the tender of Tembisa without adhering to the regulations. That's why I'm very upset with that. If he did that, what about the person who refused? Now let me talk about the bigger picture. The official who was responsible for supply chain management or for payment of the alarm system company to guard the cocaine you are talking about, or Madlanga Commission is talking about, why is that person still at work? Yeah. Why is that person not charged? You understand? You enable crime to happen. Fani Masemola may have done wrong by approving that tender after recommendation from the subordinates. You understand? Now, why would we arrive at this stage if it is not a coordinated effort? And why do we selectively? I can tell you, Fani Masemola is not going to go back to work until his contract is finished. No, this case is going to run for many years. He's not going to go back to work. But ironically, and I'm saying this to NPA, to Madlanga Commission, and to South Africans, ironically, the person who was at the helm of that tender of Tembisa Hospital, the chief financial officer, the person that finance and supply chain and the tender control committees was the chief financial officer. She is now, that person who took file to Masemola, the boss, she is now the acting commissioner. Now, I'm a senior person or I'm a chief accounting officer in government, whether a commissioner, a DG, or a CEO of an entity. The government, not me, the government provides me with support, structure, and personnel. They give me clerks, drivers, officers, advisors, specialists, CFOs, supply chain managers. They give me those people. They are vetted, they are trained, they are experts. I rely on them. They are either corrupt or they mislead me or they don't do their work with due diligence. I believe them. I take their work, I agree with it, I process it. Fast forward a year or two after it comes out clear, whether through whistleblowing or either way, something comes out and say, now, Botsang or Masemola, what you approved was not done correctly at the bottom. You go and you charge me as the chief accounting officer for approving it, but you leave everybody else underneath me, the same people that you provided. It's very clear in this case of through Madlanga Commission or ad hoc or other investigations, it's very clear what went wrong with the Tembisa tender scandal. We know. It's very clear. Now, when it's clear where things went wrong, who did what wrong, who approved, who recommended, who sat in the bid adjudication committee, you leave those people and you go to the person that approved. And when he realized that he approved something that was done wrong, he reversed it or he stopped that process. And then you go and you put that person with the criminal cutters. I'm saying if the NPA and the court is not going to demonstrate to us that Fani Masemola acted illegally. You know, there's a difference between not adhering to the rules and regulation and doing an illegal thing. Those are two separate things. And I'm saying this, I've been in the public service for almost 30 years. And I've occupied senior and executive positions, both domestically and abroad. If it is a criminal or an illegal activity to not follow the PFMA, then the government must collapse. Because year in, year out, every quarter, every 6 months, the Auditor General, the Public Protector, the South African Revenue Services, the Minister of Finance have said, from local government to province to national and the presidency, they did not adhere to the PFMA rules and regulations.
So let there be a precedent then.
Yeah. If it's a precedent.
No. So let there be a precedent, and then
I'll give me. Is it the same?
No, just walk into the shot, bro. It's fine.
So yeah, if it's for, is it the same?
Yeah, it should be the
same.
same.
We are drinking the same. Oh, okay.
So let there be a precedent then. Okay. Then we can open a whole new jail for people who have flouted the PFMA.
Fresh. We will have to jail almost every CEO, DG, minister, executive, commissioner. We'll have to jail all of them.
It's called a fresh start.
If a fresh start means,
no, it's called a fresh start. I mean, if that's what must happen, then let it happen.
You know, the Auditor General, I'm not talking thumbsucky, I'm not talking things.
Yeah.
This week, the Auditor General reported on how so many municipalities, the municipal managers did not adhere to the Municipal Finance Management Act, which is the local level of the PFMA, the Public Finance Management Act. Now, non-adherence, non-compliance, they use beautiful words. They use words like misappropriation of funds, non-adherence, what do they call it when you waste money? There's a term they use when you waste money, not using money towards the intended purpose and all those things. If those are criminal activities, then I'm a happy man. Then let them go now and charge those. Let's not wait for Masamola case to end. Let the AG, the Public Protector, the Minister of the Treasury, let the Treasury Minister go and arrest Dada Morero and MMC of Finance in Joburg. Let them go and arrest them. They are the chief accounting officers. The Treasury have said they didn't handle the fiscus properly. They didn't adhere to the Municipal Finance Management Act. Please, so
if it's good for the goose, let it be good for the gander.
Exactly. Let them all be arrested.
Yeah.
How many departments? We are sitting with Minister Tolashe at the difficult ministry of, what do you call that ministry? Of
social development.
Social development. Cars for the children, hiring of nieces and cousins, stealing money with the daughter from, and there's evidence, I'm calling it stealing, it's no longer allegations, because there's evidence now that she and her daughter stole money from a domestic helper who
she says it was an agreement between her daughter and the domestic issue.
That domestic who is paid by, who is hired by the state, is hired by her. Her signature is on that letter.
Hey, but the domestic and my daughter have an agreement that I'm going to give you half of my money for whatever reason.
Is it in compliance with the PFMA? The answer is no.
Yeah, but it's her money. If she wants to give half of it away, it's not my problem.
Why was she at her house? Can please the NPA and Hawks go and arrest Minister Tolashe? Please, can he be in the box? And many others. CEOs of entities, of government, CEO of PRASA, of cross-border, CEO of whatever state entity, for non-adherence to the PFMA, of Transnet, can they be arrested?
And many of them didn't even cancel said deals. At least the... And Tato cancels the thing.
At least this one cancelled. Let's go even to Zondo Commission. There were many senior government officials there. Some are my friends that were mentioned there. And they were found not to adhere to the PFMA. Can they be arrested? Now, the cases are active. You understand? And I'm saying this thing of arresting Fanima Semola, if they are not going to prove to some of us like me that he actually actively knew and facilitated that company of Ket Madlanga, what do you call it, Health 24, whatever, if he knew and he actively aided them to defraud the state and get that tender, then he must be charged criminally. But if that happened because he failed to adhere to the PFMA, is it a criminal offense? If it is, let's get them, all of them. I'll even provide space in my house and pit bulls for them to be arrested if prisons are full. We cannot run a country in this selective manner. And I'm happy for political parties like the EFF, ATM, Action SA for what they are doing. I'm very happy. And the nice thing is the infighting of political parties, the what do you call it, the factions in the ANC, it's very good. It's very good for the country. Because by Pimpana now,
Sure.
they are talking against it. They're talking about what they've done wrong. I want them to see them in the dock, like we once saw a former Speaker of Parliament in the dock. That's what we want to see. But it must not just be in the dock. And they spend 17 years fighting like Baba Jacob Zuma has taught them how to delay a case. They must be prosecuted. This case must end, and they must wear orange or yellow overalls. That's what we must do. That's how to fix the country. In order for us to fix the country, let us arrest, charge, and jail those who are in power positions, who influence corruption and maladministration. If we do not do that, I hope one day to become an NPA head or a police commissioner. I will go to parliament and arrest half of those people. Because half of those people in parliament, they've contravened the PFMA.
Yeah.
When they went to arrest Adams in parliament, parliamentary house, they should have picked up many others there.
Adams was sitting there at the back of the van smoking. That's an iconic picture.
No, it's just that I don't want to promote smoking. I'm anti-smoking. But smoking companies, they should have taken that. It's a very good advert.
No, it's an iconic picture.
Yeah,
Smoking,
cigarette companies.
The day he writes a book about his arrest and his journey, he must use that picture. Sitting at the back of the van.
That will be a very good picture. We give people a lot of ideas, business ideas on this show.
And that's why we're here. We're here to help you market your goods. Anyway, are we
Thanks
done?
for the coffee, guys.
Are we done? Are we done at Madlanga?
Yeah.
Are we done at Madlanga?
Yes. What else is there? Yeah, we are done with Madlanga. It's a show that's continuing.
Let's talk about Mapisa-Nqakula. 3 days after the ConCourt ruled, Mama Nqakula, who presided over the December 2022 vote, sits down with Ndlozi on his African Renaissance podcast and says on tape that ANC SG Mbalula came to caucus on the morning of the vote and told ANC MPs, today is the day we are going to vote, but none of you will vote in favor of this report. Asked whether the ANC abused its majority that day, the former speaker says, I think we did. I hate to say this, but we did. Then she says, I hang my head in shame because we could have done better. She also alleged that President Ramaphosa personally authorized her 2020 Zim trip on the SANDF aircraft, then issued her a 48-hour ultimatum to explain it. She used the word betrayal or betrayed to describe how she felt. Interesting week for Mama.
Very interesting week. There's interesting things I will highlight about. By the way, I watched that interview live.
Yes.
Because I was interested in my third ex-wife is...
Not many people get to say my third ex-wife. My third ex-wife.
She's a major in the army. And at some time she had a very serious fallout with Mama Mapisa-Nqakula. So I've got it. So I watched that episode.
Because you have a vested interest.
I've got vested interest, especially with the aircraft that went to Zimbabwe during lockdown.
I hope I want to back love way. No,
not that one. Definitely not. So I watch it fresh. I don't know which part should I start with, the aircraft first or the... Let's start with the Fikile Mbalula one. There's things we need to correct, and I'm not doing ANC any favor here. Mama Mapisa-Nqakula is, to some level, disingenuous about this thing. When this thing happened in 2022, Fikile Mbalula was not the SG of the ANC.
Okay.
Fikile Mbalula became the SG of the ANC in December 2022.
Okay.
When they had their elective conference.
So you're saying there's no way he could have done that as SG?
Not as SG.
Okay.
Maybe as... For me, he was just part. He was an MP.
Yes.
He was actually my boss because he fired me. He was the Minister of Transport.
Sure. So as Minister of Transport, he could have still said the same thing?
He could have said the same thing, but not as SG. I want to correct Mapisa-Nqakula and the impression she has created.
Okay.
The then SG of the ANC that time. I think Paul Mashatile was the Treasurer General. I just forgot who was the SG after Ace Magashule, because that's 2022. That's where Ace Magashule was already dismissed. I can't remember who was the Secretary General that was elected in the conference of December 2022, but Fikile Mbalula was not the SG because he was elected in December 2022.
So Fikile Mbalula replaced acting SG Paul Mashatile.
He was acting after Ismail Khashule was dismissed from the party. So Paul Mashatile was the SG, not Fikile Mbalula.
Sure.
That's the first part. The second part is, yes, what is his name? Mapisa-Nqakula. I would hang my head in shame for forgetting when it suited her.
Are you saying because she's out in the cold?
Yes.
Got this court case. Now on a conscience, a Damascus moment of sorts.
Exactly. And I'll tell you why. President Mbeki has his hand in this whole thing.
Yes.
And I'll paint a picture to the people. Why. The African Renaissance podcast, where the host, your counterpart, is Dr. Ndlozi.
Yes.
It's President Mbeki's school and foundation podcast.
Okay.
That's why it's called African Renaissance Podcast. That's the first thing I want to highlight. The second thing I want to highlight is the relationship of Charles Nqakula, the husband of Mapisa-Nqakula, and Madam and President Mbeki. We all know in politics that they've got a very close and tight relationship. If you look at that podcast,
So you're saying all of this is calculated?
it's very calculated, and the when.
Yes.
If you look at that podcast, the first guest in that podcast was President Mbeki himself.
Yes.
And on that podcast, it's where he lambasted President Ramaphosa's conduct and behavior with Phala Phala. So one of the platforms that President Mbeki explained to say, but how can we have a president who puts dollars in a couch? So these things for me, in my observations.
Some could argue, how do you have a president who walks around in soft Italian shoes? You know.
So fine. However, that's what has been happening. If you look at that podcast, I watch it because I like the caliber of people they bring.
No, it's an incredible podcast.
Very incredible. To have former Deputy Chief Justice Nosiviwe on the program. Nosiviwe also spoke about the conduct of President Ramaphosa. Now, these are all the people who in the past, they preferred President Ramaphosa to President Zuma.
Yes.
And now you can see the gap, the chasm, the differences. Now, Mapisa-Nqakula, the former Speaker of Parliament, when the Phala Phala thing happened and he presided over, he fell out of favor with President Ramaphosa. And we know that he's facing criminal charges. Part of the falling out of favor, it's when according to her, took a defense force jet, according to her, authorized by President Ramaphosa through a third party. Another critical thing, Fresh, that somebody or some minister brought to my attention when I criticized and I watched the podcast, some minister wrote to me and said, but Botsang, you are not fair to President Ramaphosa. Mapisa-Nqakula says, she doesn't say President Ramaphosa called me or gave me an instruction. She says President Ramaphosa sent somebody to me, somebody senior in the ANC, somebody that I trust. President Ramaphosa sent you and said, go and ask Mapisa-Nqakula to prepare a jet and take ANC people privately to Harare, to Zimbabwe. Now, there's two important things that happened on this case of Mapisa-Nqakula flying to Harare with the Defense Force jet and ANC officials. So it was a private trip of the ANC using our jet, our money, to fly ANC officials to Harare. There's two important things that happened. Mapisa-Nqakula says the instruction came through a third party from President Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa hasn't denied that. He hasn't denied that. People are protecting that, but he hasn't. Secondly, Ms. Mapisa-Nqakula says Zimbabwe actually wanted this meeting of the ANC and ZANU, not government to government, party to party, to be held inside the Kruger Park. However, President Ramaphosa insisted that the meeting must happen in Harare. We don't know why. This was during lockdown, level 5 lockdown. Mapisa-Nqakula even says She was actually suffering from COVID with the husband. They were diagnosed with COVID. Now the president or the ANC or the minister, they broke all the COVID regulations that they enforced on people. They take the jet of
You
the
were part of the
defense
committee when.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll never.
I was doing my job.
I'll never let you forget. But you were part of the committee.
I was doing my job.
I couldn't buy cargo pants because of this man and the rest of the COVID-19 task team.
The only thing I
war
loved,
room.
The only thing I liked about that war room is that we were stationed at the Reserve Bank. We were working until late at night. We'll make the rules and pass them while we are sleeping. When we wake up, we're like, no, we are not opening alcohol. And then I could travel anywhere in the country. That's the only. And then
Because it's already passed when I get.
yeah. So, but I was doing my job fresh, and I protected many of the people. How?
Thank you for the national duty.
The people of Botswana will thank me for allowing them to have matches during lockdown. It was my input. I fought for that. To say, guys, please, Botswana need matches.
Exactly.
Understand? So I admit and concede I was part of the COVID lockdown decision makers. Anyway, now fresh. You look at all these things. People, it's not just optics. People are saying, why is Mapisa-Nqakula coming to cry out loud now? That's how politicians operate. You put fuel on fire. President Ramaphosa is under fire. His former comrades,
the timing is not a coincidence.
The timing is not a coincidence. We don't care why Mapisa-Nqakula is talking about now. If he's got the Damascus moment now and she feels she wants to hang her head in shame, but she's not the only one. Even the other speaker, former speaker, Madlanga, she also came out this week and said the ANC was wrong. The parliament was wrong. The president is wrong. They should have not done that. And what did Deputy President Paul Mashatile do?
But are they? Because I remember at the time, Mama NDZ.
Yes.
Said, and as a disciplined cadre,
yes,
she can't, in good conscience or something, agree or disagree at the time. Are these cadres now, who are now all of a sudden having a Damascus moment, are they being disciplined or ill-disciplined cadres? Because surely it's protect the party by any means necessary.
Well, I think they are realizing that their behavior in protecting the party has destroyed the party. I think they are realizing it now. I think they are
to
also
speak out publicly, based on how we know what is expected of them.
Yes,
you have a conscience.
Yeah.
But are they being disciplined or ill-disciplined cadres?
Of the party.
Of the party.
I think they are being ill-disciplined, and I'll tell you why.
Yes.
They don't care anymore because they face disciplinary. One is in court, one is sitting and retired.
Hence I'm saying, so if you're out of favor, are you speaking because you have a conscience or because you're bitter and okwatile?
Look, it's bitterness in some instances. Mapisa-Nqakula is no longer there. The husband was the security advisor of President Ramaphosa. When these things happen, pillow talk should have happened. Charles should have said to Nosiviwe, hey, sweetie, don't allow that. Don't sign it. Don't use the charter. As a security advisor, it's a security risk. Don't do that. And as that, pillow talk didn't happen. Comradeship didn't happen. But let us give Mapisa-Nqakula the benefit of the doubt. Between President Ramaphosa and Mapisa-Nqakula, I believe in this instance, Mapisa-Nqakula. There is no minister in this country that will leave the country without authorization from the head of state. That's number one. The generals, according to Mapisa-Nqakula, and he showed papers, the generals of the South African Defence Force and the Navy who flew that jet and authorized it to take off from Waterkloof Air Force Base, they were shocked. They were like, but we got authorization from the Commander-in-Chief. President Ramaphosa, we shouldn't call him Commander-in-Chief when it suits us. Mapisa-Nqakula took that jet, took his comrades from Luthuli House, and the reason I'm saying I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt, she says, and that's not ill-discipline if she's telling the truth. She says...
No, but the ill-discipline is in bringing the party to distribute, because if you have issues, they must be discussed at Luthuli House.
But she says...
So the truth does not mean you are a disciplined cadre.
No, you are disciplined when you tell the truth in my books. She says...
But politics is about smoke, mirrors, illusions, and giving and wagging the dog.
You know, Fresh,
if politics were based on the truth, half the people in politics would not make it in politics.
You know, Fresh, my political party that I'm going to be active with soon, they are going to have a very serious problem with me. I can say now in public, because I will not lie to save the party, but I will bring up issues inside the party.
Sure.
Mapisa-Nqakula says she raised this matter in an NEC meeting.
Sure.
She said it. Before she came to us in pub, she said she went to a comment, even those who were in that, I know who was in that flight. She says, even those who were in that jet, she went to them and said, but comrades, you know that the president gave me an instruction. President Ramaphosa even phoned President Mnangagwa to say, I'm sending Mapisa-Nqakula with the team. They are flying into Harare instead of into the Kruger Park. Please, the ANC is a collective organization. They always claim to act collectively. Can they even accept their corrupt behavior collectively? Because that was a corrupt behavior of the president, the minister, and Luthuli House comrades. It was a corrupt misconduct of using our resources and the Air Force jet to can fly ANC comrades. I don't care whether they are in government or not. I don't care whether they were ruling party or not. What they did was illegal. It was misconduct, and it's a shame. That's why she's hanging her head in shame. But again, President Ramaphosa is very quick through the man I respect, Vincent Magwenya, to deny things. You know, when President Ramaphosa denies things, he always does his hands like this. President Zuma will laugh when he denies. President Ramaphosa shakes his hand. Now, he hasn't denied what Mapisa-Nqakula said. He has not even commented or responded. And that's why I'm saying they're playing a political game. There's more pressure on President Ramaphosa. You betray even your comrades. I wrote something, and I said, if what Mapisa-Nqakula is saying it's true, then President Ramaphosa is very evil. Because you don't do that to a human being. You don't. You don't.
Yeah, but who must fall? I'm not falling if you
she
can.
is not telling the truth, then she's a very mischievous person who deserves to be where she is.
Okay.
One of them is an evil person. And we will know in future. When they start fighting, when elections come, when impeachment and anything comes, when the NPA opens files and charge people, we will know. When the generals who flew that jet are called in to come and testify of what transpired and what happened, we will know the truth. I've always said to the people, there's everything good about the truth except one thing. There's one thing that's very bad about the truth. It takes time. That's the only thing. The truth takes time. And look, they can't run forever. They can't be protected by the Democratic Alliance and other parties in the GNU forever. Because at some stage, people start thinking for themselves.
Yes.
Am I going down with them or am I going down for them? That's how it works in politics. You know, when I remember the story of Julius Malema when he was dismissed from the ANC, he said, a pig is eating its piglet. Kulubeja, the banana.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and this is what is happening. And it's sad that people who were comrades, who were in trenches, who built the Tambo organization and movement are doing this to that organization. What actually did not surprise me, it's what we were taught in the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania. Zephaniah Mutupe, the former president, the late, used to say, don't fight the ANC guys, leave them. We are 10, they are 100, leave them. They will fight each other. He said that to us in the early 90s. I'm looking at it unfolding and happening now, that they are destroying each other. But Mapisa-Nqakula says, and this is interesting, guys, when Dr. Ndlozi asked her, when you were doing those things, both with the jet to Harare, as well as the decision that you led in Parliament, didn't you think that was wrong? You know what was her answer? That's what I was taught in the ANC. That was her answer. That's what I was taught in the ANC by even our elders, to say when it comes to the organization and the movement, you must defend it and protect it, even if you sacrifice your being. She said it, unquote.
Yeah, but is it not generally like that for any political movement or formation, that that you must defend? If there's issues or moral issues we must deal with, we'll deal with them internally. But externally, we must always present a united force. I thought that's politics 101.
Fresh, that's politics 101 in the party. The
Yeah.
ANC steals or misuses state resources. You are the speaker. You're not the speaker of the ANC. You see, I always say, those 400 people, sleepists in parliament, okay, they don't all sleep. Maybe some 50 of the 400, they don't sleep. They are awake like the Action SA leader and others. Fresh. Can our MPs, 400, the speaker, president, because the speaker in there is the boss, the president, and all other 398, do they know that when they occupy those seats, they are not occupying, they are deployed by their parties, yes, but they are occupying those seats for the nation.
Yes.
Mapisa-Nqakula was not the speaker of the ANC. He was the deployee of the ANC. He was the speaker of the National Assembly of the Republic of South Africa. She had to do things at or for the interest of the Republic of South Africa. When she was the Minister of Defense, and by the way, there was one of the ministers, I can't remember if it was her. You remember the one who gave a child of a friend in Angola a lift without papers?
Or in the jet.
In the jet.
Everybody Aruna rescue.
I'm not laughing, guys.
Rescuer. So who are we to get in the way of doing the Lord's work?
Now, don't come and baby cry and cry in front of us and hang your head in shame if you were doing things. You must say proudly, I was doing these things for the ANC. Say it proudly. Don't come and say, I'm sorry, I'm hanging my head in shame. I should have not done that. That's none of our business. Go to the house and say that to your comrades, to say I should have not done that. But they always do this when they are outside. You spoke of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Actually, I don't know why people are mentioning Dr. Zuma only. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. They should mention the other two people. There was also Supra Mahumapelo and another ANC deployee in Parliament, an MP, who actually voted the same way as Nkosazana Zuma. Nkosazana Zuma was the first to rise during that vote and said, as a law-abiding disciplined cadre, I want the Section 89 thing to go. Supra Mahumapelo voted against it, and somebody else. There were three. Today, they're standing up and, you see, those are disciplined cadres. They knew that when they were in parliament, they are serving the people of South Africa, not only the political party. Fresh, you don't, and I will never do that. I love my kids very much. I love you and I love my family. But I will not defend you, bro, when you do something wrong.
Yeah.
I will not, because I'm actually unethical and I'm not fair to you as well. I must call you out.
You know what I look forward to? I look forward to, and I even see it in the US, where you're seeing army generals taking orders that, even at an American level, are surely not constitutional. And you'd think that people that have sworn an oath to the Constitution would put Constitution, king, and country over any politician or any political expediency.
Yes.
But you don't see that happening. And yes, you might be ostracized. Yes, you might be charged with insubordination. But if you swore an oath to the Constitution, then you must die by that.
Yes. Or to the public service.
You must die by that.
Or to the I am sitting at home for 3 years and 6 months now because I refused to break the oath that I took when I took public service oath. You understand? Unfortunately, you will suffer, but that's where we were taught serve, suffer, and sacrifice. You serve the people, you suffer if things goes wrong, but you sacrifice.
Yes.
I understand. And maybe we are not cut from the same cloth. Maybe we are all not prepared to lose our houses, our income, and all that. Maybe we are not.
Or maybe it is true that people go into politics for self-gain and not for the Constitution or the country.
And I'm praying for that. And that's why I've decided to go into politics, to go and demonstrate when I'm in there that you can actually still be an ethical, law-abiding person, even if you are a politician. If it gets hot in the kitchen, you must pull out.
So you're always going to be voting against things, only one.
No, not always. No, not always. No, not
so you'll be the one fish swimming upstream. All the other fish are going downstream. When no.
My brother, I've all my career life, I've been swimming No, but you know what? I've behaved fresh. I was a diplomat I joined Foreign Affairs under Peg Broda, and at that time I was carrying machine guns fighting white supremacy. I served the ANC-led government, absolutely. One of the greatest leaders I've served was the late Alfred Nzo, the former South African Communist Party, SG.
Yes.
He became the first Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs, yes.
Actually, Alfred Nzo posted me abroad. It was Alfred Nzo when I went to Germany as the vice consul.
But you still made it about king and country first.
Exactly. For me, it was about the Foreign Service Code. It was about the Public Service Code. I didn't care who was in power. Understand? So I will not swim always against, but I will not swim with wrongdoing.
Yes.
And I'm calling for civil servants. Look at Madlanga, ad hoc committees, jail, NPA. Look at the people who are in the dock. 99% of the people who are in the dock, if not 100%, are civil servants. They're not political office bearers. Look at that. Look at Madlanga. Is there any politician in the dock? In all the charges, in all the people arrested, is there one politician? Zero. Zero.
If the civil service paid fairly and handsomely, don't you think there'd be less people dipping into the cookie jar? I'll give you an example. You're paying me, yes, it's a fair wage or salary. But in the bigger scheme of the amounts of money I'm dealing with, it's peanuts. Umpatala, let's say 100,000 a month. 100,000 a month. But I've got R1 billion budget that I must allocate to people.
Yeah.
Those people are saying, no, eventually.
That's corruption. Right?
I hear you, but I'm saying, but eventually someone is going to say, all I'm getting paid is this. And here's someone saying, but if you give me the gig, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying, maybe if we paid people enough, they'd have less reason to want to put their hands in the cookie jar. Maybe.
First, I don't think public servants are paid badly in South Africa. Honestly, as no, I've worked only once for.
But are they
outside
paid
the
handsomely enough?
I think so, except the police.
To turn the other.
To
look away.
I think so. I've been a public servant.
Again, I'm not justifying.
No, I hear where you
being
come
a thief
from.
because I know poor people who would never steal,
Yes.
and I know rich people that steal.
Yes.
So
Actually, most of the corrupt people who steal are rich people or well-off people. Most. It's not poor people.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm saying, I've been in a public service since 1993 to now. And I'm saying the public service may not be paying like the private sector. It never happened anywhere in the world anyway. And I'm saying, with the exception of the police, and maybe the teachers somewhere somehow, and public nurses and doctors, with the exception of the police especially, I think the police are underpaid in South Africa. I think so.
It's bad.
It's very bad. And when you look at the nature of the job they are doing, I'm not justifying that there must be thugs and thieves. But I think the public service is being paid well. Let me tell you, the other day the media released a list of top 10 paid CEOs of government.
No, at the top there.
Yeah, is it fine?
At the top there, millionaires have been created. Okay. At the top there.
Fresh. Teller at a supermarket. And top brand supermarkets, not Yasekasi.
Yeah.
They are earning between 4,000 and 6,000 rands per month.
Which is rubbish.
How much does your grocery with your family amounts to when you push the truth? Maybe 2 to 3 grand.
For the month, 10,000.
Yeah. Now, this teller is receiving 10,000 rands from Fresh. She can see the money. She can see you buy the cheese and the yogurt, and she's earning 6,000. Nah? The public servant who is a supply chain officer in a government department is taking home an average of 15,000 rand, 10 to 15,000 rand, a supply chain. Are we saying because it's in the public service, therefore he's stealing and giving tenders wrongly to other people, while the teller at a supermarket at half the income? So for me, it's about ethics. It's about your conduct as a person.
Sure.
I will not justify criminals or criminality on ethical conduct because you are underpaid
My children can eat ethics, unfortunately. And ethics are not going to pay my rent. I'm just saying, give people less and less reasons to want to steal, whether they're ethical or not, whether they were raised right or not. We don't have the same thresholds when it comes to resisting temptation, unfortunately.
I agree with you. Yeah. But I'll tell you why the public service can't give public servants more. Because the top brass is first stealing, secondly paying themselves more. If there was fairness, they would actually give out of the whole round cake.
Rather have the middle, making
rather
decent
have
money.
The middle.
Yeah.
Rather take half of the cake as the CEO or the minister and give the employees the other. Don't give them a quarter.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things leadership in the public service can do without condoning and or justifying why they behave and conduct themselves like that. I mean, when you look at the cases of these drugs and what happened at Ekurhuleni, look at the case of Mkwanazi, what is his name? The Mkwanazi of Ekurhuleni, the chief. Julius Mkwanazi, as well as the whole municipal manager, the gentleman who's facing charges of, the accident where they killed a person and they paid. Now, what would be the reason of a whole police chief? Now he's highly paid. That's what I'm saying. Those who are highly paid are the ones who are actually thugs and criminals. You understand? And we cannot. I don't think it has anything to do. I started working for government as a clerk. And guess what clerk was I? I was a clerk at Foreign Affairs for Provisioning Administration. It's now called SCM. You understand? I was responsible for these tender documents. When I left Derrico, I was the secretariat of the Tender Control Committee. And you know how much tenders are there at Derrico. Those are big tenders because some are foreign currency. I always make an example. When I was stationed in Kigali, I bought 3 vehicles for the state with cash. I had cash in dollars, a Land Cruiser and 2 Prados. You know what Toyota Kigali did? They gave me a quotation of $200,000 or whatever the amount was. Ne? I sent the quotation to headquarters. Funny enough, my boss was Nkuseli Ableni that time. And they approved. When I went to pay for the car and took delivery, the supplier gave me a discount of $5,000 per vehicle. Headquarters had approved. Now I am sitting there with $15,000 that headquarters doesn't know about cash. Fresh, I could have taken that money and put it in my pocket. No, they dumped me. I wrote to headquarters. I'm like, hey, I'm sending 15,000 back. They're like, what's wrong? What did you do? Did you buy 3? I said, yes. But they said, but you gave us a quotation that it's this amount. Now, what are we saying to them? I'm like, no. I negotiated discount, even after, because I'm buying 3 cars cash.
Yeah, because you're a disciplined citizen who's saving the fiscus.
Now, why can't majority of us do it? But anyway, the corrupt civil servants, I must protect the civil service. The corrupt civil servants, they're not even 5% of the civil service. And most of the time, they're influenced by politicians or by external factors. That's why the drug criminal cartels are the ones using civil servants to be corrupt, but I can tell you it's the minority. Majority of the police are not corrupt. Majority of people at Home Affairs are not corrupt. Majority of the people at the Border Management Authority are not corrupt. I can tell you that fresh. Majority of traffic officials, they don't take cool drink. When I came to the studio this morning, I was stopped actually. I still don't have a driver's license after I lost my wallet. So I'm driving with a chauffeur and like, all right, dude, you passed here last week. You still didn't apply for the license. I was like, hey, I'm waiting for month end. When I get paid, I'll go and apply for the license. The guy didn't ask me for cold drink.
But you are right, though, and I can say confidently that majority of roadblocks have been stopped at. Nobody asks for cold drink.
No.
We have a conversation, and more often than not, as long as you're not cocky or full of crap, they'll use their discretion and just warn you and let you go.
And let you go. They will tell you, no, go fix this thing, go take care of this. No, guys, civil servants, listen, our civil servants are not all corrupt. Not even the majority of us are corrupt. There's few bad elements that we must actually take out of the civil service. And we must teach people. I'm teaching a lot of youngsters who are joining the civil service. Go there, respect your job, do your job, and don't be corrupt. Don't get under pressure. don't listen to your boss to make you do wrong things. Don't do that.
Don't sign off on things that you know.
Don't
you have
do
no
that.
yeah.
Don't go and transport cocaine into your baggie.
But you got into trouble for refusing to sign off on.
I'll sort out that trouble. It's gonna pay me very nicely. A nice retirement. That part I refused blatantly, and I'm looking at how people are in trouble now.
Yeah.
For me refusing to be corrupted.
We're out of time.
Let's go home fresh.
May I corrupt you and say we down tools?
Yeah, let's down tools. Let's go. You are playing very nice today. I may join you to celebrate my birthday. So I haven't been out, but hey, going out with you, my brother, I get sick for 3 to 4 days.
Okay, so Saturday was celebrating your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, today was celebrating your birthday.
Yes.
Okay, happy birthday, brother.
Thank you very much, Fresh.
Like I said, may you see many more, and may your political career fly. I know the country is in good hands wherever you may be deployed, by whomever.
That's why I'm not telling you, because you, with your loose mouth, you will end up talking. I'll tell you on the day.
But I know already, so,
or I'm going
so please
to,
don't
to
offend.
Let you watch on
don't
TV.
offend my loose mouth, because I might just irrepe.
Now, yeah, but you know what? I must still go and tell my mom that I've decided to put my hands in the dirty field of politics.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've got the bite of the Tumamina thing. You know, so many people wrote to me. I think people are picking it up.
Yes.
Even people from the BLF, the EFF, some ANC people. I'm like, hey, what are we hearing? I'm like, where? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And yeah, but for now, let me be a disciplined cadre of my party.
Yes, sir.
And as the leadership of the party had said, Botsang, shush until the day. And it's only a week to go.
He didn't shush enough. Me, I know.
You didn't get that from me. You are speculating.
Anyway, brother, where do we find you online?
Guys, botsang@gmail.com. I'm still unemployed. Send employment and interview offers. But let's continue this debate on WhatsApp or on the Twitter.
Sure.
At Botsang M on social media. I prefer WhatsApp for debates.
Okay.
+278388477787.
And then when is your case in court again? And hopefully for the last time.
No, it's going to be for the last time. 20th of July, it's what the Labour Appeal Court have set to be the D-Day. And I can tell you, don't go beyond this. Nobody's going to be sick. There'll be no postponement. The Judge President of the Labour Court and that office have been very firm on this. Guys, I must say, I'm one of the biggest critics of the justice system. I've written a book about that. But the experience I've experienced at the Labour Court under difficult circumstances, they have been delaying. I'm very sad and upset, but they've been by the book. And for me, it's when they do things by the book, in some instances, they will even correct me and say, no, we're not going to rush us. We'll do this thing and we'll do it the right way.
So when the system works, it works.
When the system works, it works. And yeah, probably from the 1st of July, I'll be seeing a different story. I'll give you a resignation letter from this show.
I hope it comes with a check.
I must pay you for resigning.
I'm not going to get paid for your notice. Since it's with immediate effect, at least you must buy your notice.
Oh, no. It won't be with immediate effect.
Okay.
I must actually apply to the viewers and the followers to say, hey, guys, are you letting me go?
All right.
Or not? But by the way, I still have, I don't know if I'm giving clues here, I still have a board approval from my employer that I can play in the media industry. Years back, when I started being an analyst on ANN7, you know, I was charged at work. I was charged. My boss went to the CEO and the board and said, this man is on ANN7 analyzing policy at night and weekend. They charge me fresh. And the board took a resolution to say, but just leave that guy. He's doing this at night or weekends. And he is not putting, they only gave me one condition.
He's contextualizing whatever's happening.
What's happening in the country. But they gave me one condition and I've adhered to. As long as he doesn't bring the entity
into disrepute.
Whether it was the Border Management Agency or the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency. And I've never done that.
Yes.
I've refused even on social media or on TV to speak about issues of border management or of immigration or of road transport until they fired me. You understand? But when I resume where I left, I will continue doing this. I will just not talk about issues of the borders, and I will not talk about issues of transport, which is the sad part to say, except on issues that are in the public space. But I will not talk comfortably and openly about what is happening in our borders as well as in transport. Unfortunately, I have to respect that. Unless the new board comes back and say, hey, we are no longer going to do that, then I will have to choose from resigning, becoming a politician, or leaving #Politricks. If you guys pay me enough, more than the public service.
We can't afford you. But anyway, we've said goodbye for 10 minutes now.
Okay, bye-bye.
So please, let's leave.
I'm like, you told me I'm dressed like an uncle, so uncles never finish talking.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We're out of time. We would have loved to discuss all the other things. But we are out of time. This has been another installment of Wow What a Week, #Politricks with Fresh, Botsang, and you. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, for sharing the links, and most importantly, for commenting and being a part of the conversation, and I guess witnessing history as it happens in real time. We are coming to you from Discover TV in Fourways, Johannesburg. Let them be your stage. We are a part of the Africa Podcast Network. Email us at waw@africapodcastnetwork.com. Shout out to Keletso Modisa, our executive producer, and Trevor and his crew at Pezulu Works. If we look good, it's thanks to them. If we look bad, it's thanks to ourselves. Until next week, have a wow week in spite of yourselves. We're out of here.